High Chronicler Matias of the Delver Association signing on. Expedition North to find a safe passage to Volden. Recaster version 2.4 used to recreate expedition logs.
Crew leader Dresk was selected to lead the expedition to find safe passage to the magical academy of Volden City, which currently requires travel to Volden and then to Volden. Their path took them along a corridor between the western swamplands and the eastern wastelands, through a previously unmapped forest known as the Drip Woods. The great trees secrete a highly corrosive sap along the canopy's branches, dripping down to the forest floor. The flora, fauna and fungi are resistant to the sap. Those that are not native to the forest will find their flesh bubbling away while listening to the sound of gentle rain. The crew prepared corrosion-resistant suits and shelters for the trek north, now a few hours into the Drip Woods.
Well, at least I won't have trouble sleeping tonight.
Why is that?
The dripping. There's a section of the shelter beneath Inert where I was raised that has leaking pipes. It sounds like this.
I grew up in the academy, on the 50th floor. There is no glass along two sides of the building. The wind howls as it passes through. I find howling wind soothing.
The sounds of my hunting party breathing is comforting. The razor plains get very cold at night outside the enclave in the wilds, so we sleep together to keep warm. Our hearts and breath become as one.
Sounds sweaty.
Can be if a couple or three get to cuddling instead of sleeping.
Right there, in a clump.
Yes.
Noise? I miss noise.
What do you mean, Tim?
They'll talk all the time, hundreds together all the time. Our voices are too high for you to hear, more like a buzz to your ears. Outside the hive it is too quiet. Many will become anxious all alone. I have a recast of the market, for sleeping. It's hard being alone.
Just remember we are here, okay?
Yes, not many are friends with Vel. Friends are a curious precious things for Vel. Not alone, while in silence. So curious.
Dram the team scout returned from their reconnoiter of the range ahead.
We got a clearing ahead.
Anything special about it?
Center.
Well, that sounds like trouble. Let's check it out and map it.
The crew advanced cautiously to the edge of the clearing. From the tree line they could see a vast meadow of tall grass, purple flowers atop long red stems and a solitary tree at the center with a wide base. Its long sinuous branches dominating the center of the meadow and out 10 feet in all directions.
So what does everyone think?
Trap.
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 Pretty music.
What music, Tim?
You can't hear it? It is making music. It is pretty.
Trist spark the area, Dram trigger it. Everyone get ready to bolt, if things get nasty.
Kyniest Trist spoke a small chant and then their eyes glowed purple, highlighting the hues of magic in the area.
No abnormal hues in the area, Dresk.
Okay, so far.
Dram pulled out one of their triggers and pulled the cord to activate it. The trigger launched into the air with a whirring and clanking noise, flashing lights and the occasional spout of flame before smashing down into the meadow, atop one of the purple flowers. A sound like a whip crack and the trigger was sent hurtling towards the tree, smashing against its trunk, pieces tumbling down out of sight behind the tall grass.
Well shit, what was that?
Too fast to tell.
My Ironcast got a recording. Slowing the image down now. A branch from the tree snapped out and snagged the trigger as it struck the flower.
Okay, don't touch the flowers, got it. Dram mark it down on the map with a notation and let's find a way around.
The crew turned away from the tree only to find them staring at it again, but now they were standing within the meadow, 30 feet from the tree line.
Dresk, Trist, Dram, Brudge? Please answer. Please.
Fuck. I think my ribs are broken.
How did we get in, Trist? Did we teleport? Spatial distortion?
I stopped channeling. I shouldn't have. Weird. One moment.
Trist began chanting again to spark the area.
Good, you are speaking again. You all stopped talking and walked into the meadow. I tried to stop you, but my iron cast was too strong. I am sorry, Dram. I followed you and nudging you out of the flower's way. Then I thought maybe it was the music, so I started playing my market noise on repeat. You stopped walking and stayed still for an hour. I am glad you are talking again.
No conjuration, illusion, or enchantments, Dresk.
Why didn't you get pulled into whatever we did, Tim?
Maybe cause I hear it. When outsiders go into the hive they get headaches from all the noise. I will run a diagnostic to make sure.
Good. Lead us out, Tim.
They turned to the tree line and found it now ringed with large blue flowers, with wicked barbs protruding from their center.
Crap.
Those barbs will not pierce my iron cast, but I cannot guarantee I can shield everyone.
Trist, can you jump us past the tree line?
It will take most of my charge to move the 4 of us.
Okay, Trist, get us out of here.
Trist began to chant, energy swirled about her, encircling the group, and just as the magic was coalescing into a sphere, a branch whipped out from the tree faster than the eye could move, snaring Trist's wrist and yanked her off her feet. Tim fired off a tether that cinched around Trist's ankle. Trist finally screamed as she was pulled taut between the tree and Tim. Thrudge dashed over and slashed through the branch of the tree with their great axe. Branches snapped out, caught Trist about each arm, and pulling so hard it dislocated both her shoulders. Dresk ran over to Trist.
Trist, keep calm. I know it hurts. We will figure something out.
Dresk stepped away to the group and huddled around Tim.
Ideas, please?
The tree was quick to grab Trist again, but it did not go after me. It sensed her magic.
Do you think you can sever the 2 branches in time for Tim to block?
Dresk, I cannot move from here. I had to bolt into the ground to keep from being dragged.
Okay.
I am hesitant to sever again. I cut 1 and 2 replaced it.
Dram?
I could navigate my way to the base of the tree. I have my trigger fuel. I could attempt to burn it.
Alright, that might be needed.
Now there is also 2 more options I don't like thinking about.
Shit, okay, out with it.
If we cannot save Trist, Thrudge can make it quick, which I doubt the tree will.
Noted, last resort.
The other thing that could be done, Daenerys is only a few days away. They have mitigists. Thrudge could sever Trist's arms. Tim has a cutting torch. We cauterize and run.
Thrudge and Tim, we will prep for the armug chopping, while Dram tries to burn the tree. If it looks like we need it, go. I will talk to Trist.
Dresk walked back over.
I heard the plan. I can use meditation to deal with the pain. I do not need my hands to speed us along.
Good gal.
I have a numbing agent that will help with the pain and blood.
Dram, burn this fucker.
Dram nodded and began navigating through the meadow towards the tree.
Dresk, my diagnostic is complete.
What's up?
My air filters have caught a strange pollen that has the same chemical profile as a substance found in a recently discovered, currently inert facility.
What substance?
A goo that alters perceptions and opens the mind to suggestion. They are currently using it to treat psychological trauma.
So that, combined with the melody, makes people walk to their deaths.
Dram moved carefully through the meadow, avoiding more and more of the flowers, until finally they reached the tree. It was by sheer luck they didn't stumble into the 10-foot deep trench ringing the tree. Looking into it, he saw the now familiar off-yellow sap that had been dripping on them since they stepped into the wood. This sap, however, was significantly more concentrated, as the remains of the trigger was almost completely dissolved. He prepped the fuel bottles and signaled back to the rest of the crew that he was ready. Dresk signaled to begin. Dram began pouring the fuel onto the roots and against the trunk, keeping a useless eye on the branches. The branches moved so fast that he would not be able to dodge even if he did see it coming, but he couldn't help it. Then they struck their match. Dram slammed against the trunk of the tree. A branch had grabbed him before he even realized it. The trunk was slick with the sap and its bark serrated. As Dram slid down into the awaiting corrosive-filled pit, the bark carved his suit apart. Then with a splash he fell into the mess. Before the pain began paralyzing him, Dram pulled out his hand thresher, placed the muzzle against his temple and tried to pull the trigger, but his hand had already began to bubble away. Thrudge swung his great axe through Trist's shoulders in 2 quick swings. The branches snaked away with their prizes and Dresk used her cutting torch-heated blades to cauterize the stumps. Then they heard the thud of Dram's body against the trunk. Dresk looked back long enough to see him fall from view and the smoke begin rising from around the tree. Flowers began rising in a wave from the tree coming towards the crew. She shouted to run. Thrudge picked up Trist and Tim led the way. Whenever their path intersected with a flower, they couldn't get around. Tim slammed their foot down and placed a section of their iron cast in the optimal path of the branch. Just as the branch hit it, Tim detached the section, letting the tree take it. When they reached the blue flowers, Tim disabled the safeties on their cutting torch, spread a short burst of flame along the flowers, then a burst of extinguishing fluid.
3 days later, Trist arrived at the hospital in Inert, and the mitigists could only restore one of her arms, but she lived. The work of the Delvers helps create a way forward for those that follows. Now when another Delver team goes into the Drip Woods, they will know to bring breathing filters. Hi, Chronicler Matias signing off.
Hey, thanks for watching. And please like, and if you're not already subscribed, subscribe. And do the little bell and tell other people about me. And, just have a good day,